Welcome to Collection Chronicles, where we bring you the world of collections, or we bring the world of collections closer to you.
Indeed.
With us today is Carly Anderson,
As always.
our super producer,
Yep, and data entry.
data entry at the agency, at the collection agency that we work at. Tanya, who is IT and collections, and our co-host, and Greg Matinsky. I'm the CEO of
El
Global Collections.
Capitan.
I don't like that. What did we say? You were the
I am
queen of...
the first lady of collections.
First lady
I am
of
Michelle
collections.
Obama, Oprah, and Queen Latifah wrapped up in one ball.
Oh my God, that would be a deadly
That's
combination.
intense,
That's
actually.
intimidating.
Yeah,
That is intimidating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right, pay your
Yeah.
money.
And by the way, we're not affiliated with any party, so whoever's name we say, it's not that we're politically advertising.
So politically correct.
Because I believe that Oprah is going to be the president.
Indeed. Well, if
We can only
okay, let's
Okay, let's not go there.
We'll
Let's
start
not go there. Yeah. No.
Okay.
We're from Canada, so we can say whatever we want in that
Yeah.
sense, because we can't vote.
Well, Parliament. We don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're British, basically, British
Yeah.
subjects.
Yeah.
So every time that we do this podcast, and this is episode number 3, we do a collection chronicle, the story of an actual collection. And
Yeah.
today, I think Tanya has one for you.
Yeah, so to set this up, basically I sent out a notice of debt to an individual, and I think I can mention the number. He owed like 149 or something like that.
Yeah, that you can mention.
Yeah, and he responded with a 12-page dissertation. And then at the end of it, like this is like paragraphs upon paragraphs, and I'm reading through it, and I'm like, what the? And at the end of it, without prejudice, he says, he goes, I will offer a settlement of $225, and I'm going, wait, you only...
Was it?
Yeah, basically, it was 149, but through all of that, by the end, he goes, I'll offer a settlement offer of $225, and I just respond back.
So he's actually trying to overpay you?
Yeah. And I'm like, how did we? You responded in such a way that I thought this guy was just not going to pay. Right? But then he threw me for a complete loop to then go, oh, I'll pay more than what you owe, essentially. That's basically what the email said. And I'm like,
Really?
okay, we can't do this. So I responded back, okay, well...
Do you want to actually read that response? Not his name.
Yeah,
or
but
his or her name, I should
say. I'll read like a little excerpt of basically what my response was. And first he accused us of violating a lot of collection
laws.
Yes.
Which we don't.
For the province of Ontario, which we didn't violate at all. It's just that most people... And there's another thing for people, if you got this was a landlord debt. He didn't forward his address.
Okay.
So basically, all his old mail or his new mail was going to his old address,
Right.
and that's why he didn't get it. But in a sense, I first addressed his accusations and pointed out that we did not violate that, and then I went on to say. Regarding your settlement offer, we cannot accept this offer of $225 as it is a larger sum than the debt we are collecting. But seeing as you are willing to pay more than what we are collecting, if you would like to make payment on the $142.99 balance listed with us, I have attached our payment information sheet, blah, blah, blah. And furthermore, this hasn't been reported to your credit rating.
Wham,
There's a
paid in
courtesy.
full.
Yeah, straight
Did
up.
he?
Paid in full.
Oh.
He didn't even argue with me on anything else. He's like, yeah, okay, I've made the payments, and I hope you do not contact me again. And I'm like, no, sir, I won't. I just send you your release letter, and you're good. But yeah, that's my story.
That's a good story because, sometimes I see that we're like psychologists to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because, he had his say. He felt
He wanted
violated.
yes, and he also mentioned grievances against our client. And I'm like, and I even addressed that. I could have just ignored it, but I said, as for your grievances, I would forward this over to our client and let them know, But aside from that, you're willing to pay this amount that you've concocted in your head that you think you owe after, in a sense, trying to argue back with me. But it's one of the things I would advise most consumers is just read. For a second, just read and look at what we're saying, and just and then go okay, and then go from there. If you want to offer a settlement amount, then we could go from there. But just for a second, just read it out
Process.
clearly, and just don't get. I think what happens is they see that they owe this, they briefly skim over it, and then come back with this whole, because all the grievances they've had with the whoever the client was, and they blurt out all these things, and it's like irrelevant.
You're right.
What's relevant is this. And then also whatever they say. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I have receipts," and I'm like, "Okay, cool." I never go, "No, you owe this, you owe this." No, I go,
You
okay,
can respond the same way.
Yeah,
no.
no. It's like, if you have receipts, cool. Send them to me. I'll then forward it over to our client, and and have them. Maybe it is just an unfortunate mistake. Maybe it was a listed in error, and I'll just forward it to the client. And say, "Hey, they have a receipt showing that they paid, and it looks like it's legitimate. Here's the copy of it." And sometimes, most often, the client goes, "Oh, yeah, that's proof. Okay,
that's fine,
and that's it, and it's rectified." And I like that. But just read it. Get heated or whatever, but then go over it one more time.
Well, you know what? And there's a good saying for that. I was reading this book about Frederick the Great, and one of his sayings was, "Hasten slowly." So don't jump to the conclusion.
Yeah.
And if you jump to the conclusion as the collector at
Yeah,
this point,
to assume-
you would have just seen that, oh, this is just too long.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever, just pay your bill. But you didn't. You read it through.
Actually, to be honest, because I get my work email through my phone. This was late at night when he sent this response back, and I go to read it, and I'm start scrolling, and then I go, wait, what? And I keep scrolling. I skim the head real quick, and I'm like, oh, it was like 2 or 4 or 3 of these thumb motions, and I'm like, this is long, and I'm like, I'm not reading this. And then like in the I'll look at it in the morning. In the morning, I sat down,
read it.
took the time or set aside the time to read it, and went through it and broke it down paragraph by paragraph and addressed what needed to be addressed, and seen that he was offering like a whole $100 more than what he owed. And I was like, come on, guy. You put it together this beautiful essay.
Yeah. I've read some of it.
Full book.
Yeah, it's actually very detailed.
Yeah, very detailed. He went and brought up section codes, like he was referencing them like verbatim, and I'm like, okay. Which allowed me to go and see and go, oh, no, we didn't do that. And then, but then to just kind of like he was bowling great, and then it like just went straight into the into the gutter. That's right. Right at the end, it just took a sharp turn.
Well, I mean, it's classic conflict resolution. Like, I think nuclear wars can start and stuff like this when, you said this, okay, I'll do this. And then it's really quickly, it just escalates, as opposed to, okay, listen, this is not what it means. Is just read through it. And that's, again,
that was our Cuban missile crisis right there.
Yeah. Well, thank God both of them, managed to.
It resolved itself in a weird, quirky way, but it was very good. Very good.
Yeah. Was it Khrushchev and Kennedy? I guess it was Khrushchev, right?
It was Fidel.
Well,
Cuban.
Fidel, Khrushchev.
The USSR.
Kennedy,
yeah.
Because I think, there's a long story there too, and I don't know if anybody's listening from Cuba. I don't know if they can listen to podcasts, but probably they do.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it was I think that was a really interesting episode, and it could have escalated into.
It could have if I'd just been like, no, our client says, this and that, without reading it and really seeing that he was actually offering more. And if I just told him, hey, you actually only owe this, then he would just pay it because he was already willing to pay $225. So therefore, he didn't really read it, but he did read it. Yeah. But he just focused too much on a way to get back at us instead of like looking at it and actually going, oh, okay. Well, despite that, it's just this. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, a lot of people on both sides have issues or problems putting aside the rest of the story. Because really what it is it's a number. Sure, there could be other things around it, but forget about that. All it is.
It's just a number.
So if we're calling you, you know what? We're not saying you're a bad person. We're not saying all we're saying is
somebody brought this to us. Yeah. And we often or not we have a ledger, and if you want, we could go through with it. And sometimes we come to you could say, oh, okay, they say I didn't pay this payment, but I actually did, and I have the receipt for it. And it's like, oh, okay, cool, send that to me. Yep. And then boom, right?
Then
so
it's fine.
It's just communication.
Yeah, it's all in communication. Yeah. I think is.
Speaking of communication, the whole way that this whole thing started was he didn't update his forwarding address.
Exactly.
And I think a lot of people, I mean, before I started working here, I didn't know it. I didn't know anything about this before I started working here. I've never been in collections before. I had no idea how anything worked. We do like, what, 80%
landlord
tenant? And I had no idea that you had to update your forwarding address before you left. But
I mean, you don't have to, but it's a good idea.
But you should.
Yeah, you should.
Because it's a protection to yourself as well as, the client or the landlord.
And also you know your information basically, because let's say where you last lived, somebody is there now and all your mail's getting sent to them.
Yeah.
I mean, private confidentiality thing right there. I mean, there's laws against opening other people's mails, but
but
you never know. You never know.
And especially, I mean, they can actually open it or send it back, then you're not going to receive it. So it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good point you're making, Carly, is
protect yourself.
Protect yourself, but update your information.
Yeah.
People don't know that. It's something that to us, like working at a collection agency, you're like, yeah, duh.
Yeah.
But as like a person that has never like been in collections or worked in finance or anything like that,
you would never think of it.
I would have never known unless I worked here.
Because why would you? I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, and for the longest while, my address was always like one address because it was the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
But then I moved out, and like I just always kept that as my address.
Even if
and
a
I
parent
never
lives,
changed it. I never changed it.
Even if a parent lives there or something, that's fine because that means you're still gonna get your mail.
Yeah, but I mean, as an adult, I was an adult at that time.
You should change
because then my
your
mom was
address.
going through my mail.
Your mom's gonna say, "Hey, honey."
You ever had that mom's hand you your letter and it's like open? It's like mail came for you, and it's opened and it's like you're like, but.
I got a package sent to me like that once.
Holy crap.
Yeah, they were like, because the apartment next door opened it and they were like, oh, I didn't realize it was for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, whatever. Enjoy my like sweater from a band that you don't even know. That was born like 3 decades after you were.
Well, what about that guy did you guys see that on the internet? He designed this NASA guy. He designed this package that would open up.
Oh, yes.
And would like
it would spray sprinkles, first of all, and then it had like a fart bomb in it.
Yeah.
And then it had like a 4-way setup of cameras and
That's
GPS
right.
location
For
and
what?
a battery backup.
Because people were stealing the Amazon packages.
off of people's front porches, even his own.
I
So
would
he
just-
have said that.
Oh, yeah, well,
But anyways, Amazon is now a big, it's all over. So
it's
we're not
like
advertising for them.
and we're not like
Yet.
disparaging them. We're just
Yet.
saying that packages
Unless
get
Jeff
stolen.
wants to.
Yeah, yes, Jeff, if you're listening. Anyway,
Oh yeah, he really needs our advertisement.
yeah, I know, right?
I would just put in, what are they like, ink bombs? You know the thing
that's
they put in
essentially what he
banks?
did. But it was in a form of like the most.
It was
so they got covered in
really
sparkles first of all, and then the fart bomb would go off,
And he
it'd
was
get choked
recording
out,
it, too.
And he was recording it. Yeah.
You ever seen that video of that lady that her package got stolen and she chases the girl down
Yes.
the block? Like
Yes, she was like,
far
"Give me my
down
bag."
the
And
block.
the lady was just like, "No, I don't have your." She's like, "Just give it back and I'll leave you alone. I seen you. I know it's you." And it's like she just kept going for like a 2 minutes. This lady would not. And then finally, the lady just kind of like she gave it back to her, but she really didn't. She like pushed it out of her coat and kept walking and dropped it on the ground.
And the lady's like swearing at her down the block, and she's just looking back and walking away.
The realities of today's
And
world.
you know what's the most messed up thing about these people who steal packages off of front porches? They're
What?
the most like diverse amount of people, and in age, in race, sex, they're just
Completely
random
varied,
people
yeah.
just steal packages off of people's front lawns.
Which shouldn't be surprising.
I
right?
know, yeah, but you know what I mean. You can't have any like concrete demographic
Yeah,
like,
it's like it's
data
this
on
group,
that.
you know?
Yeah, no, it's just like
Imagine
the
if it
group
was-
is humans.
Imagine if it was. It
Yeah,
was like
I,
it's all Caucasian whites.
Yeah.
And they're 20 to 25 years of age.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're the ones stealing
They are-
the
yeah.
packages. Yeah.
they think it's all Lululemon,
Yeah.
and they just want it.
They
They
just
need their
want it.
yoga outfits.
They just need it. Oh man.
Anyways, we should call this Tangents with Go Beyond Collect.
Yeah.
Well, actually, yeah. Let's get back on topic. So,
Yeah.
So what? We had the story. What's the excuse of the day? 'Cause we
Oh,
usually have
yeah.
an excuse of the
The excuse of the
episode,
day,
or-
I think, was it me? Yeah. Whose
The
whose
bed
was
bugs
it?
with the landlord.
Yeah,
Bad
the
bugs,
landlord.
yeah. It's a very.
Okay.
It's
this
not
time we've got-
anybody's in particular. It's
Yeah.
like widespread.
But
Yeah,
it's just
it's-
like bad landlords, pretty much. Like, oh, this landlord, I had complaints about leaking
Yeah.
or roaches or bed bugs, and they didn't do anything about it, so I stopped paying. And
Yeah, it's a
like,
very specific
Yeah.
excuse because
Yeah.
they think they're entitled to withhold.
And in some
the
cases
rent.
they are, but
Yeah.
then again, they have to do their due diligence to protect themselves because they were right in a sense to withhold their rent. But there's a process. So if you
but hold on, let's say the excuse. So the excuse would be, I'm withholding I'm not paying a dime because there were cockroaches. Or something like
that's
this.
basically it. Basically, or this apartment was crap and they never did anything. They never turned the heat up, and it's like, listen, all of that is aside the point. You owe this amount because you yourself just said it on the phone that you didn't pay but had you gone to the landlord tenant board
or whatever board is actually governing that area,
exactly, and I think mostly for landlord tenants it is the LTB,
landlord tenant,
So basically what you do is just you'd go create a case with them, and you would then have by your rights, and you would be legally justified at that point to withhold your rent, but you got to make sure that you don't spend it, or you will have the amount. Let's say in the end you're not able to prove your case, and the judgment doesn't fall on your behalf. But if it does, then right now you're good. Now you don't have the landlord coming after you because it's been adjudicated and determined that you're correct, and now you were right to hold your rent, and you're great. You're gravy. There's no.
It's conflict resolution. So if you've got
exactly
for consumers out there, if you've got a grievance while you're somewhere or while you're getting a service, voice it. Because if you've got a record of it, you went to the police, you've gone to the board, then you're legitimate in withholding whatever payment.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So what you did initially was a good instinct, but protect yourself. Remember, there's always protections there for you as a consumer or as a renter, or in general as a person. So do your due diligence is what we like to call it.
Yeah. And we're not saying to, in quotation marks, screw our client.
Yeah, but protect yourself.
We're saying protect yourself.
Yeah, follow the laws.
Yeah. And then you've got a case to, you've got two legs to stand on in the case, or not just one.
Exactly, because we do get that a lot, where it's like, you know what, you're probably right, but you didn't do what you needed to do so that we can say, you know what, that you didn't give that whoever or.
You didn't give notice, or
exactly.
But I get the other side too, because if you're a consumer and let's say you're in a building that is maintained in a shoddy way, then you're not going to take the time. You're lazy. You're going to say, well,
or you got too much going on in your life.
Yeah, I'll just deal with it, and I'll get rid of the roaches, or I'll fix this window. But after a while, you've done that. Then you're going to move out, and then you're going to blame the landlord. But the thing is, you've signed up to actually communicate with the landlord too.
And also, don't pay for anything yourself. If there's work to be done in the apartment and they don't do it, and you then go do it, what you should do is get it on written that you made an agreement with the landlord that you are going to now pay for it. Or even if they don't want to sign nothing, at least have it stated somewhere in a sense of a record that, even if you record it saying, hey, I told them you guys are not fixing this problem. I have a problem. I'm going to go then fix it myself. I'm going to keep my receipts.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay for the work to get done and handle it myself and take it off of my rent. So that when they come after you for it, then you have, nope, I told you what I was going to do.
Or
I have left voice messages. I have recordings of me doing that. And I have the receipts of what I paid. And that's exactly what I took off my rent. And now you got yourself sitting pretty.
And that's perfect too for the landlord. If you guys get into a conflict, maybe you already know you owe. Then you go, okay, I owe this much. Here you go. It's not a problem, because then you've done your due diligence.
Yep.
Either you complained or haven't complained. But I think both sides, creditors and consumers, many times it's not like they're barking up the wrong tree, but they're not really mad at each other. But the whole process of, okay, I didn't do this.
Yeah,
well, now you owe the money. I want the money. And in the end, it comes, everybody ends up worse off. So if you just communicate, then you probably won't end up in collections with us.
Communication is key.
It is. So that was the excuse of the day.
Yep.
I think that's all we've got time for this time around.
Yeah.
And what is it that we always say?
Pay or get paid.
Yes, pay or get paid. Thank you.
We should have a jingle for that. Pay
and
or
as
get
always,
paid.
and as always, if you guys have any of your own stories, or you got any feedback, any kind of comments, you can send it to us from at our email, which is gbpodcast@gobeyond.com. We also
it's gobeyondcollect.com.
Oh, yep, gobeyondcollect.com. So gbpodcast@gobeyondcollect.com. And we also have a Twitter handle. Carly, what is it?
It is Collection CHRON.
Nice.
Perfect. Well, thank you for listening, and until next time, pay or get paid.